Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Phone lit up, 2:14 a.m. Your name on the screen, I already knew something was wrong. You sounded tired, trying not to panic. Said my car broke down. Quiet after that, I grabbed my keys before you finished talking. Didn't ask where, didn't ask why, just said I'm already on my way. Street lights blurred through the windshield, empty roads, cold night, same old highway we used to drive. Back when everything felt smaller, I remember you at 16, asking me how to change a tire, pretending not to care when I showed you twice. I remember Dad saying look after each other, like he knew one day it'd only be us. I'm already on my way. Same answer every time you call. Doesn't matter the hour, doesn't matter what happened, I'm already on my way. 'Cause that's what brothers do, even when nobody says it out loud. I found you parked under a gas station light, hood open, hands in your pockets, trying to look calm. You laughed a little when you saw me pull up, said knew you'd come, like it was obvious. Maybe it was. I looked at the engine, pretended to understand more than I did. You stood beside me, same way you did as a kid, waiting for me to figure things out first. Some things never leave. Cars pass sometimes, radio low in my truck. You talking about work, about bills, about nothing important. I listened anyway, 'cause nights like this aren't really about the car. I'm already on my way. Before you even asked me to be, before you finish explaining, I'm already on my way. Because one day you stopped being the little brother and became my closest friend. Tow truck took forever, we sat on the curb a while. You handed me coffee, too sweet, too cold. Same terrible coffee you always drink, I still took it. You asked if I was tired, I lied, said no, truth is I drive all night if you needed me there. You looked over once, said thanks for coming, real quiet, like it meant more than the words. I didn't know what to say back, so I bumped your shoulder. Same thing I used to do when we were kids. You smiled at that tow truck finally came. Guy hooked the car up without saying much. Night getting colder now. You rode with me after heater too high, windows fogging up, same old silence that never feels awkward. I thought about how many years passed, how fast it all went, how we barely noticed until moments like this. I'm already on my way. Still hear myself saying it, even after the night ends. I'm already on my way. Because some people are home before they even arrive. You fell asleep for a minute in the passenger seat, head against the window. I looked over and saw the same kid, the one always following me around, asking dumb questions, just older now. We pulled into your driveway, almost sunrise, birds starting somewhere far off. You grabbed your bag, closed the truck door, and leaned back in. Said, drive safe. Small sentence still stayed with me. I watched you walk inside, waited till the light came on, then finally drove home. Empty road again, sun coming up slowly, and for some reason I felt lucky. 2 beds, same room, posters on the wall, clothes on the floor, fan spinning slow all summer long. We used to stay awake, talking about nothing. You always slept first. I'd still hear you breathing across the room. That sound used to mean everything was okay. Back then, the room never felt empty, not once. Then years moved fast, jobs, cities, new keys, new lives. You packed your things into black trash bags, said it's not far, still felt far. The room got quiet. That was the first thing I noticed. Not bigger, not cleaner, just quiet. The room got quiet. And somehow, that silence stayed for years. Mom turned your side into storage, old boxes, winter coat stuff nobody opens. Your bed disappeared like you were never there. I hated that part. I still wake up sometimes expecting noise, a drawer closing, your phone charger falling. You laughing at something online, then nothing, just the house settling. I remember nights when storms knocked the power out. We'd sit on the floor with flashlights, you pretending not to be scared, asking dumb questions just to keep talking. I miss that version of us sometimes, before life got expensive, before everyone got tired. The room got quiet after you left. After growing up stopped feeling exciting, the room got quiet. And nobody warns you how loud silence gets. You came back last winter just for 2 nights, duffel bag near the door, same old hoodie on. We stayed up late again, talking in the dark like nothing changed. For a second it all came back, same laugh, same stupid story, same feeling. Then morning came too fast. You left early, coffee still warm on the counter. I stood in your old doorway after you drove off. Same room, same walls, different life. I think people believe they miss places they don't, they miss who was there. The room got quiet, but my head never did. Still hear echoes from years ago. The room got quiet, and somehow that became part of growing up. Sometimes I call you late, not for anything important, just to hear your voice a while. You still answer, half asleep, same as always. We talk about work, about bills, about nothing, but underneath it I think we both know we're trying to get a little bit of that room back, just for a minute. I walked in there tonight, window open, cold air moving, the curtain stood in the dark a while, remembering how it sounded when you were still here. 2 beds, same room, fan spinning slow, and us, still kids somehow. Two, 3 black suits, same as everybody else. People shaking hands, saying the same things. He was a good man, sorry for your loss. I nodded, you nodded too. Neither of us cried, not there, not in front of them. Rain started light, right when they lowered him down. I remember watching the dirt hit the wood. That sound stayed with me. After the funeral, everything got quiet too fast. People went home, food got cold, and suddenly it was just us. After the funeral, I realized there was nobody older anymore. We sat in the car a while, doors closed, engine off, still wearing those ties he used to make us wear, right? You looked straight ahead, hands shaking. The little first thing you said was, "What do we do now?" Real quiet, like you were still a kid for 1 second. I didn't answer right away, truth is I didn't know either. I looked out the windshield, same parking lot, same gray sky, whole world still moving somehow. Felt wrong, Dad used to call every Sunday morning, same time every week, short conversation, same questions, car running okay, you eating enough? Little things, things you think will happen forever after the funeral. I kept checking my phone without thinking, like maybe he forgot something and called back after the funeral. The silence changed shape, became heavier somehow. You took your tie off first, threw it in the backseat, said you hated funerals, Dad hated them too. That almost made me laugh, almost. We sat there longer, heater running now, windows fogging up. You asked me if Mom was gonna be okay. I said yeah, even though I wasn't sure. That's the thing nobody tells you. When a father dies, everybody suddenly looks at the oldest son like he knows something I didn't. I was just trying not to fall apart first. After the funeral, I drove your way home slow, neither of us talking much. After the funeral, every street looked familiar and completely different. You fell asleep for a minute, head against the window, same way you used to when Dad drove us home as kids. I looked over, and for a second I saw both of you at once. You woke up suddenly, asked what time it was, then apologized for sleeping. I told you not to worry about it. You nodded, looked out the window again, city lights moving across your face. I wanted to tell you everything would be okay, but Dad always told us not to lie unless we had to. So I just said, I got you. You looked down after that, said nothing, but I think you believed me. We pulled into your driveway, cold air outside now. You grabbed your jacket, opened the door, then stopped, looked back at me and said, don't disappear on me too. That one broke something in me. After the funeral, I finally cried alone in the truck. After the funeral, I understood why Dad always sounded tired. I drove home slow, radio off, hands tight on the wheel, thinking about how fast boys become men and how nobody ever feels ready for either one. Years went by without your name in my phone. Birthdays passed, holidays too. People asked about you sometimes. I always said he's doing fine, even when I didn't know. We stopped talking so slowly, hard to remember where it started. One bad night turned into years, that's how it happens. Mom used to tell us, you boys are the same person. We hated hearing that. Maybe she was right. Then the hospital called. 3:17 a.m. said Mom collapsed and we should come quick. I got there first, coffee machine humming, hallway too bright, then I saw you walking in. Older now, gray in your beard, same walk though still my brother. Even after all that silence, even after all those years, still my brother. Some things don't disappear just because nobody talks about them. You sat across from me for almost an hour. Neither of us said much, just hospital sounds and tired people walking past. You asked if she ate anything. I said no, That was our first conversation in years, smallest conversation possible. Still felt huge, doctor came out eventually. Used words nobody wants to hear. Serious, unstable, next 24 hours. You looked down, hands locked together, same nervous habit you had at 15. I noticed immediately, funny what stays. Still my brother, even sitting there like strangers. Still my brother, 'cause blood remembers things the mouth forgets. Night got longer, we both stayed. Vending machine, dinner, bad coffee, same hard chairs. You offered me one without asking, like old times I took it. You asked about work, I asked about your kids. Both of us careful, like walking on broken glass, but still walking. Mom woke up once, looked at both of us, standing there. Started crying immediately, said there you are, like we were missing boys. Finally found again, that one hurt. You stepped outside after that. I followed a minute later, cold air, empty parking lot. You lit a cigarette, then put it out halfway. Said I should've called, real quiet. I looked at you, wanted to say me too, couldn't get it out, so I nodded instead. You understood anyway. Still my brother, even after pride, even after anger. Still my brother, because some connections survive things they shouldn't survive. Sun started coming up, hospital windows turning gold. We stood there tired, older, different, but side by side again. Not fixed, not healed, just there. Sometimes that's enough. Mom got better slowly, weeks passed. We started texting again. Nothing emotional, memes, football scores, random stuff. Normal things felt strange at first, then didn't. You called me last Sunday, asked if I wanted to grab lunch, like no years were missing. I said yeah, too fast, almost after we hung up. I sat there a while, thinking about how close people get to losing everything before they finally reach out. Still my brother, through silence